Welcome to Diet.com video. I'm Sarah Dussault, and today I have a co-host, Tina Hoppert from carrotsandcake.com. Tina is a food and lifestyle blogger, and today we're at Ole, which is a Mexican restaurant in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Now, Tina is going to be helping me navigate a Mexican restaurant menu. So, Tina, we have a lot of food here today, and I know that you give your readers a lot of tips on what not to eat and, what to have when you're dining out, but you also emphasize enjoying yourself and having a good time. So that's for all of you guys at home to know. We're not necessarily going for the most restricted calorie dining out, but more the better of the two. So first, the bowl of chips. What do you have as a technique to keep yourself from eating the entire thing?
Yeah, I have definitely been there. I'm always picking at the chips the whole entire meal and definitely beforehand. But what I do with chips like this is I portion them out on a small plate and then just pick from that plate. So I'm not going back for chip after chip and, just stuffing myself before the entree comes.
And so we have salsa and guacamole here. Now, guacamole has a bad rep, but it's not necessarily that bad. What's your take on it?
I think guacamole is a great food. I mean, it has, all the healthy fats, it's filling, but something like that, you just want to make sure that you use some portion control. So kind of the same thing, if you just want to scoop out a little scoop and put it on the plate with your chips, you can just dip it in that way. And I mean, if you want more, you can go back for more, but you're not dipping directly from the bowl.
Good. I've never actually thought to do that, and it seems very logical. I'm surprised. Okay, so then after you get your chips and you're chowing down, you have your drink. Now, of course, the most diet-friendly way to do Mexican food is not to drink alcohol, but who can resist a delicious margarita? What is your tips on drinking at a Mexican restaurant?
One simple thing is just to, have your margarita without salt. I mean, you avoid all that sodium right off the bat. You can also ask how the margarita is made. If you can have it made without the sour mix, you're, saving lots of calories, you're not getting all that sugar, and just have it the straight up natural way, I guess, just the fresh juice and the tequila and all the good stuff.
And so oftentimes, Ole is actually an independent restaurant, and so pretty much everything that you order here, they're gonna make from scratch. So when you're out at a chain, most of the time, it's hard to make those exceptions if you want a little bit of this or less of that. But here, they pretty much make everything fresh, and I'm sure they do at many other independent restaurants. So most likely the margaritas are made with fresh lime juice and not the sour mix, so don't be afraid to ask. Some other drinks that you might want to avoid when eating out at a Mexican restaurant are any frozen drinks. A lot of times are already pre-mixed and they have tons of sugar in them. And Tina, you were saying that Mexican beer is often a good option.
Yeah, they're typically light beers, and if you get them in a 12-ounce bottle, it's instant portion control. You can keep track of how many you've had over the course of the night.
And so now we have all these awesome looking entrees. So we have a torta, which is a Mexican sandwich, a quesadilla, which it might not look like a traditional one, but that's because we're just at an awesome restaurant, some traditional tacos, and a burrito. So Tina, what usually do you gravitate towards when you go out to eat?
I'm a big fan of the quesadillas. I usually get them made with cheese, but I always, at places like this, ask for a little less cheese if they can go light on the cheese, and make sure they, throw in a lot of grilled veggies so you're getting all those nutrients and you're getting filled up eating it. And especially with something like this that's kind of a large portion, I'll eat half of it and just take half home. It's usually pretty filling.
And so here we have some tacos. Now, it looks like the meat is grilled. So one thing about these tacos that you want to note is that there were other options on the menu that consisted of some fried fish or even just some fried chicken, stuff like that. So look for a meat that is not fried. And for these, again, these are pretty portion control. They're small, but they're filling. And then we also have a burrito. Now, when it comes to burritos, a lot of times what's inside them is kind of a mystery. What are some key ingredients when it comes to burritos that you think are safe to go for?
The veggies, of course, and then beans. Beans are really filling. They have lots of fiber. They're great. If it has rice, rice is fine. I mean, if you have the option of getting whole grain rice, that would be great, but of course a little white rice isn't gonna kill you.
So a lot of times too, you can get the choice of having some sour cream or guacamole inside. And so also another tip is just ask for that on the side instead of inside. So this definitely looks awesome, but again, this is huge. So really you could probably have half of it and then bring it home and have the other half for lunch with a salad or something like that. And here we have a Mexican sandwich. So this is actually a chili rellenos and cheese type torta. sometimes when you're at a restaurant where it's not your first language, you might be confused about what is actually in them. Don't be afraid to ask your server. If you have the question, I'm sure hundreds of other people have them as well. So don't be embarrassed to ask. But that being said, if you ordered this at a restaurant not knowing what it was, because we didn't really know what was in it, what would you do?
I mean, this sandwich looks great. There's a lot of cheese on it, so I mean, I think I would ask those questions, and if they could go out light on the cheese, that would be great. Usually a little cheese goes a long way. And this sandwich, it looks like it's on a white bun, so maybe I would just eat half of it, and maybe nix one half of it, because it has all those refined carbs, and they don't have fiber, and
Yeah. The one good thing though about it being a independent restaurant is that a lot of times the tortillas and the bread, and even if the chips are homemade, they don't have any of those artificial ingredients trying to preserve them for a lengthy period of time. So they are more natural and they are more fresh. So definitely feel free to ask your servers if the things are made in-house or if they're bought from a distributor. But otherwise, this all looks delicious, and I can't wait to have some of it and try it all. And hopefully at home, we've answered some of your questions, and you guys can dine out with friends while still staying healthy. And of course, check out Tina's website, Carrots and Cake, for the latest on, you blog about everything pretty much, from, from events in Boston, wine tastings, and you're not one to shun away from sweet treats, which is nice and refreshing to hear. Well, anyway, we hope you loved this video, and I'll see you next time.